All right, perfect. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Chiang. Thank you so much for joining us today on this bright morning. We're here to talk about one of the most important things in today's world. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have any sort of website on the internet, today's topic is all about making sure that that site is mobile friendly. There's nothing more important than making sure a site is mobile friendly so that folks can be able to use the site, check it out on their phones, and be able to either, buy something or have some kind of call to action that you want the user to take on. So that's the topic for today. And guys, feel free to message Leslie any questions, and she'll be able to let me know, and I can address them as we move along. So, brief background on myself, guys. Michael Chiang. I'm the tech entrepreneur in residence at Stony Brook SBDC. Ultimately, what that means is I'm here to advise entrepreneurs, business owners on either building technology applications, mobile apps, websites, hardware startups, to even, if you're just owning a shop or online retail store, we're here to make sure that we can utilize technology to help make your business run better, make your jobs easier. Myself, I previously started a few startups. In particular, I love dogs. I started two companies around dogs. One was Match Puppy, online community for dog owners, pairing folks up based on play dates and their dogs. And my second venture was a company called FitBark, where we built wearables and health monitors to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for our pets. Now, why mobile friendly? I don't think we need to really dive into this in today's world and age. We all know the importance of making sure that our sites are mobile friendly and that folks can be able to access them on their mobile phones or tablets. But just a few crazy stats to start us off. One in particular stat that really comes to my mind when I'm seeing this stat, by the way, is from the Boston Consulting Group on mobile usage in 2019. 9 out of 10 customers are lost due to a lower mobile friendly experience. That is literally 90% of customers who had gone to a mobile website, left and went to a competitor's website because their sites were not mobile friendly. They weren't able to view it on their phones. And nearly half of users who put off a website if the content is irrelevant. So many times, we're going to dive into this later in the presentation, is that you want to be able to have your information be concise and to the point, because we don't have a lot of screen real estate on these smaller tablets versus your computer. So you want to really get to the point and have a clear call to action so that users will be able to, get to your message and be able to either buy your item or download an app or do whatever you want them to do once they land on your site. What is mobile friendly? Essentially, mobile friendly just means that it's a site that's designed to work the same way across all devices. That's really what it is. There's nothing too complex. Ideally, mobile friendly means that the text is easily readable. I try to use sites, font sizes that are like 14 and up, making sure that your links, they're easily clickable. And again, the content, get right to the point, make sure that information is user-friendly and condensed so that folks can be able to easily read it on the smaller screens. And many of you may have heard of something called responsive design. If you haven't, no worries. Ultimately, it's not a synonym for being mobile friendly. Responsive design is actually just one of the strategies towards making a site mobile friendly. What it means is essentially that it's a site where it functions the same way, regardless of the device. So, if I'm on a desktop or if I'm on a tablet, on an iPad, or even on an iPhone, the site actually responds in accordance to the screen size of the device that I'm utilizing. So that's ultimately where responsive design is. And a lot of you may have heard of website builders like Wix.com, Squarespace, WordPress. In today's age and world, I mean, you could just choose a design that is responsive. I mean, most templates are responsive by nature now, but just make sure that when you are choosing a template for your site, choose one that's responsive so that you don't need to worry about how to set it for the iPhone versus the iPad versus your MacBook versus your PC. Here's a good tool and to check if your website is actually mobile friendly. So there's something called, it's a Google tool, it's free. It's search.google.com/test/mobile.friendly. And I can share this presentation with everyone. Our team is going to post this on our website later on the workshop so that you guys can access my presentation. So no worries about taking this down, but this is a great tool that Google provides to allow you to see that, is your website mobile friendly? It just basically, it's like a pass or fail kind of thing. You just go onto the website, you type in your URL. In this case, I have my website FitBrock pulled up, and it literally just gives you, is it friendly? Is it not? And then you can kind of dive into various additional resources, additional tests, but ultimately it's just a pass or fail. I'll let you know. Now, we all hate ads. So this is just a simple kind of thing to keep in mind, which is, don't use a lot of ads and pop-ups, especially for mobile, for mobile sites, just because as you know how hard it is to kind of exit out of ads. It's that much harder on a mobile device, just because, again, the screen real estate is much tinier. Our thumbs take up a lot of the actual real estate on the surface of the screen, so it's hard to click that little X, and that is just a horrible user experience. There's no need to do that, so just kind of watch out for ad blockers and try to stay away from them as much as you can. Speed is super important. We're kind of just all very fortunate to have fast internet speeds. Sometimes we're a little bit spoiled because of it, so try to make sure that your website is quite up to par with so load times are super important. One thing that is a good tool is something called AMP. Now, what AMP is essentially a specific format for users who are creating websites. It allows sites to load really fast for mobile devices. It's just a framework. It's like HTML. They're essentially still HTML pages, but if you want, you can easily use something called Google AMP, and it allows you to make sure that your website is user first as you're actually building it. Viewport meta tag. So there's no need to really worry yourself about these terms, but ultimately what viewport meta tag is, the user's visible area of a web page. So it's actually the code within a website where it allows the developer of the website tinker with how the screen and the visible area of a page will look like. And that's something to really keep in mind when you are developing a website, and maybe you're not using a WordPress or Wix or Squarespace website builder where they just set up everything for you. In this case, if you're actually building something from scratch, you just make sure that, look, you tinker with the viewport meta tag to make sure that your site, everything makes sense for each particular screen. That's really it. But no need to really worry yourself about this. I definitely recommend to use website builders like Wix.com, Squarespace. There's no need to kind of build off from scratch unless you're building, a really unique new app idea. If you're just building a landing page for your retail shop or for your business, I would recommend using one of those website builders. Now, lastly, just a couple of tips. Don't turn on autocorrect if you can turn off autocorrect, and I can kind of lead into where to access that for like Wix.com, Squarespace, but autocorrect is great. You know, like when we're typing on our phones, when we're messaging friends, it can really save a lot of time. It can help you type better, you know, because again, like it's hard to type on a smaller screens. I have fat fingers, so I always tap and hit two buttons at once. But essentially, you want to try to steer away from that when you're building a website, because many a times it comes out wrong and it just kind of takes away from the user experience. It delays your call to action. So try to stay away from it, just because it can ultimately ruin the experience. And just another tip, make sure you can switch to desktop view whenever you can. You know, we've all kind of been on mobile friendly sites where we wish that it looked like how it did on a desktop, on a PC, or on your computer, just because we're kind of familiar with how the website looks on our computer, that we can navigate it much faster. So just something good to keep in mind is to always be able to have you know, a user switch to desktop view on their phones, just in case you do have folks who have been accustomed to your website that's on a PC version or on a computer. Great, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. And just to summarize, you know, regularly test your site to make sure that it's, you know, super fast and responsive. And again, it's mobile friendly. You could use these free tools online. Google has a great one. It basically is like a pass or fail. So regularly test your site, especially when you are constantly updating with new content, with new materials. You always want to make sure that your site is actually comprehensible by folks who, you know, visit it, right? Try not to use Adobe Flash. It takes up too much time. It's no need on a mobile site. The flash, the bangs, there's no need to do that. Just get right to the point. The best site is one that loads fast, so try to make it very simple to the point. I always go with minimalistic designs, just because you really want your content to be selling your user, you know, whatever you're selling, right? You don't want to use kind of like flashes and cool gimmicks to distract your visitor. You want them to see what you're really selling, the value that you bring, whether it's you know, piece of item that you're selling or a service. You want to get kind of to what you're actually doing. Viewport meta tag, that's more for developers who are building like custom HTML pages. But again, that's a good term to at least understand, so that, you know, when you do hire a developer to build your site, that's something that, you know, you are able to understand. Use big buttons, large fonts. That's pretty understandable. And use AMP from Google if you want to build, you know, if you really don't care about building for a computer and it's all about being mobile first, definitely try to use something like AMP. So that's my presentation in a nutshell. I'm really wanting this to be more of a discussion. So if you guys have any questions, definitely let's discuss. Let's bring it out now. And one more thing is to help you guys understand, we do have a lot more workshops coming up. I myself will be running a few of them. One on October 7th, that's helping restaurants manage multiple delivery services. So if you are a, you know, restaurant owner, small business owner that utilize delivery services such as, you know, Uber Eats, Postmates, definitely try to come into this workshop. We're gonna kind of share some of the great tools and examples of how we help business owners manage these multiple delivery services. Because, you know, the challenges with using Uber Eats and Postmates and all of them is that each of them have a particular way of setting up their receipts, setting up orders, setting up you know, statements of all these deliveries that come through. So a lot of times a small restaurant is overwhelmed and overburdened with managing just these different like formats of these receipts and delivery orders. So that workshop is all about helping restaurant owners better manage this, so that they don't need to worry about that as a pain. They just focus on making awesome, good food. And one that's coming up on October 14th is all about setting up contactless payments, setting up QR codes, custom QR codes. You know, today's COVID-19 world, it's all about using Apple Pay. try to be as efficient as possible when you are interacting with customers, face to face. And this is all learnings that we've kind of taken from a program called the Suffolk County Technology Enhancement Program that I myself have been managing since the beginning of the summer. We've, from collaboration with Stony Brook University and Suffolk County, we've been able to get many student volunteers, these brilliant students, to form teams and help actual businesses in Suffolk County who are suffering from COVID-19 economically, and helping them, manage delivery services, setting up contactless payments, making sure their websites are mobile friendly. This is all stuff that we actually been doing and are still doing today. And again, this workshop is just a high level kind of overview of some of the strategies that we use, some of the tools that we use, but you definitely want to, if you're interested in getting actual help from us, feel free to shoot me an email. Again, my email is michael.chang.1@stonybrook.edu, or you can message Leslie. Even going onto a website, you can access our program there and apply, and and just hit us up with any of your needs. And we're gonna be here. We're here to support. We're here to help, and we're here to help make our communities better, come back stronger, and lastly, just making sure that everybody is at least aware of all these tools available to them, so that they can really focus on building the business, improving their business, rather than worrying about all this mess. So that wraps up my presentation. Let's dive into any questions if anybody has any. Leslie, are you there?
I'm unmuting everyone. Well, I asked them to unmute if they'd like to. Michael, I have a question.
Yes, Leslie?
Okay. I remember attending other workshops where they talked about Wix and GoDaddy and that sort of thing. Are there any downsides to having them do your website? I seem to remember something about they own the rights to make certain changes, and sometimes they can charge you to make those changes.
Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to in terms of they can make changes to your site. I think in terms of pricing for these, and I can actually log on to one of these. So let me even share my screen. I'm gonna log on to Wix.com. But ultimately, they're free to use up to a certain point. And again, it's really up to like what needs you have for your website. Because if you want to just launch a simple landing page, I think you can probably get it for free. Again, these are kind of easier to use than even setting up a Facebook page nowadays. They made it super intuitive that anybody can kind of just log on, choose a template, and then just fill in with their photos or their content, and then just publish it. But some of the paid versions include getting like your custom domain name if you want like leslie.com versus Leslie at stonybrook.edu, right? You have like your custom domain page. That's something you'll probably pay for. If you have many media, like if you have a lot of videos and photos, like for example, if you are a online retail store, you have you sell sweaters, right? This is fall that's coming up with sweaters. You have a custom sweater shop. You may have many schools and items that you want to upload. At a certain point, you probably have to pay for hosting, just because you are taking more bandwidth off of their site. So you probably have to pay if you have a lot of photos and videos or content.
Okay.
It's just more of a premium feature. So this is kind of like a freemium model. It's free to use, but if you want like special custom domain names, if you have a lot of stuff you want to put on your site, those are when you start paying. And there's different models for each of them. Wix has their own pricing, Squarespace has their own pricing, but they're all very much aligned, right? It's really based on your needs, and their sites are really intuitive, and it helps you easily understand like do you need to pay, do you not need to pay? Just go on the pricing section, and I'm pretty sure you can easily understand within 2 minutes if you have to pay or not.
Okay, thank you very much, especially coming from someone who I cannot code. So whatever they give me, that's what I'd have to use.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't even recommend folks coding. I mean, I think developing is all about being as efficient as possible, maximizing your time, and especially for an entrepreneur, that is, you know, one of the main goals is to maximize your resources. So with these website builders today's age and world, I mean, it's just super, it saves you so much time and all the themes are out there, so you can easily choose one that's based on your look and feel, and then you just customize it with your photos and content, really. They do all the work for you, so there's no need to kind of go in and build your own site from scratch.
Okay. Melanie Baker, I did send out something asking everyone to unmute. So let me see what's going on here. Here we go. All right, now people can try to unmute themselves again. Melanie, go ahead.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Michael, are you there? Oh, now Michael is muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Hi,
yes. Hi, Michael. Thank you so much. I'm just a novice to all things technology. So I was wondering if there is a I guess almost like an introductory training on how you can use technology to do business overall. My business has to do with tutoring and parent advising, and I've been trying to learn like Zoom and decide whether Zoom is better than Google Meets, and and just to build my business that way. But I definitely need more, to learn more about the technology.
Gotcha. So are you, what kind of business do you have, Melanie?
So I provide tutoring and parent training.
Okay.
So so far, I'm starting to get like some of the basics, so where I'll, work with someone through Zoom. But I saw there was also like a Google Meet. I didn't know if one was better than the other. And I want to be able to do, like webinars where I can work with a group at the same time. Like I've been to trainings where the host will kind of put everyone in different smaller groups. So I realized that the more comfort, that you have with the technology, the better you're able to build your business. So I definitely would like to learn more about I actually just hired someone to build my website because I figured that would be one less thing for me to worry about.
Understood. Yeah, I think that is the truth, Melanie. I mean, you definitely want to at least understand how the technology works so that you can maximize it, to use technology to make your life easier, right? That's really what technology is here for. If you look at all the technology around us, it's meant to make our lives easier. So amen to that. In terms of understanding if Zoom is better for you or Google Meets, I mean, it's personal preference. They're very much both have the same goals. They're communication tools like we're using right now. We can easily get everybody into a group and then do like a basically like a face chat, or present this presentation in front of you, and then even do like a webinar. So Google Meets does the exact same thing. Their user interface looks a little bit different. It's kind of like saying, like, are you more of a Instagram or Snapchat, or that's even Coca-Cola or Pepsi, right? It's very much so similar that it's really personal preference. So I would just say, if you really want to just do a high level understanding of like Zoom versus Google Meets, I would just even put that on google.com. Just search it, Google versus, Zoom, Google Meets versus Zoom, and then you'll probably get an idea of like which one is better for you. Or even YouTube, like how to use Google Meets. We can't replace that. There's so many good tutorial videos online. I would even just say, look them up. But if you want to do like a deeper dive, feel free to, and Leslie can put this in the group chat. How do you maybe book a time with me? We can kind of discuss specific stuff about your business. I can provide a deeper dive into maybe what makes more sense for you. And then secondly, if you have a specific like issue at hand, again, I am helping manage a program right now called the Suffolk County Technology Enhancement Program. So as long as you're a Suffolk County business owner, you're able to kind of apply for this program. And again, Leslie, please share a link to how they can apply for that program. And again, you guys have my email on the screen right now, so you can all message me as well, and I can direct you on how to do so. But the program is where we pair you up with a student team, and we try to find a good match based on your business and your needs, where let's say, Melanie, you're building a new site, you're not sure if you should use Wix or Squarespace. We're gonna have our student teams analyze your needs and basically guide you through that. So that is something I definitely recommend everybody in this chat to take advantage of, if you like.
That sounds great. I would definitely love that. Thank you.
Great.
Hi, it's Anastasia. Yes, I would probably do the same thing. I'm starting kind of from square one. My brother handled the technology and went out on disability, so I'm having to figure out a website and email server and everything for an existing business that was usually walk-ins, but now obviously have to be more technology savvy. So I guess we'll email those questions.
Yeah, great. Thank you. What was your name?
Anastasia.
Anastasia, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shoot me a message anytime, and I'm going to try to point you to the right direction, or even just kind of guide you guys on what to do. But I mean, this is really exciting. Like, once you guys, I mean, understand it, it takes 2 minutes. Like, just like, you know, when we all get a new iPhone, there's a new feature, you're like, oh, how do we do it? But then once you learn it, it makes your life that much better. And this is stuff that we're kind of sharing with folks that are going to just take them to the next level. So a lot of the really good learnings, and we can't wait to share them with you. So definitely reach out, and you know, we'll be able to help you guys out.
Great.
Valerie in the group chat just messaged a question. Please advise what website is available to assist disabled business owners. I'm not sure, Valerie, if you can hear me exactly, what do you mean by that? If you can dive more specifically. Okay, great. You can hear me. What did you mean exactly by assisting disabled business owners? In what way? Is it helping them set up new sites? Is it helping disabled business owners coming to your site? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
How to have a developer assist me in developing a new website for a new business. Okay,
but so just overall, it's a general question. How do you hire a developer to help you make a website?
Like within the application that you said you would send the people that could, you know, assist in a new business startup. You said there was an application. That application, if you're accepted, does it cost anything to have that assistant?
Oh, I understand. Are you referring to the technology enhancement program that I was speaking about?
Yes.
So that program, it's completely free, and ultimately you just need to fill out you know, a quick, it's not even an application, it's just meant to kind of understand your needs better. So you basically share kind of like what you're facing, how big your business is, what you need help with. It could be like setting up a new website, setting up your social media. This is where we match you up with a student team. They're all volunteers, and you know, they're ultimately, once they're assigned to you, they're kind of just your, if you want to think about it, they're kind of like your R&D team. They're there to guide and help you with a specific need, right? So in this case, helping you set up a site, that could very much be the case. So it's free. You just need to, again, Leslie will share the process on the group chat, and we can email you afterwards, or you can email me just to, you know, I can point you in the right direction. But you just need to let us know what you need help with, and we're going to try to pair you up with a volunteer team.
Is it possible, you know, disabled people, we have a difficulty like prioritizing. Is there like a wheelhouse that each person has that's their specialty that I could prioritize by looking at the list of what skill sets your people have available, to say, okay, this is the skills that we have available, and, you know, I could look at it and prioritize where I am at now into requesting what my needs are, instead of having me sort of explain and then, you know what I mean, just to like streamline it a little.
Sure thing. So, the process is really meant for me to understand your stuff, and then I can match you with the right students. Because again, we have really good student volunteers, but each of them come from different backgrounds. You know, some are more
Gotcha.
for building websites. Some have great knowledge on utilizing social media tools or how to, you know, sell better on Instagram. It really is.
I used to teach Dreamweaver, so I have a website and I wrote the code, and you know, I have all the coding on it and all of the graphics. I wanted to get that live.
Okay, so you already designed your website. You just trying to launch it?
Yeah, I have, but it's going to be a little tweaking that's going to be needed.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is right up our alley. Our alley. So,
Yeah. Before I
this is
had my accident, I was able to code. So now I don't want to lose all of that because I can't, and I need somebody to help me. So if you could email me the application, that would be great. And the steps.
yeah, we certainly will. We're gonna follow up as well after to you know, to follow up with our presentation and you know, next steps on getting in touch. So watch out for that. Otherwise, definitely, I think Leslie is posting many links in the chat right now. So if you can see the chat room, I'm sure Leslie will post up there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The
Great.
request for counseling form will be coming to everyone in our follow-up email. As I said, it's a simple form. Click it, fill it out online, and it signs off electronically and drops into my inbox.
All right, great. You know, anybody have any other questions? It's a great program. I mean, these students are amazing, and you know that we've had some great learnings over the summer, over the past few months that we actually done this program. We've helped many, you know, quite a few business owners already. You know, it ranges anywhere from construction to design to restaurants. So a lot of our learnings can be applied towards your businesses as well. So definitely reach out and take advantage of this, and even spread the word. If you know anybody that's kind of suffering, that needs help, and this is help coming their way. This is free help, but it's also good help. So just look at us as a resource. I don't think enough people know about this, especially in Suffolk County. So again, spread the word and then share my contact info. I'd be happy to help out anyone. Great.
Okay, thank you all
that's
very much.
all the questions.
Yes, we'll be closing off now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Hope everyone stays well, stay safe, and best of luck with everything. And feel free to reach out to me or Leslie and, you know, follow up shortly. We'll follow up shortly.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.